Oh, there's one pick I want to watch out for here, though, later for TLPH. It's the Nathan for
Oh.
Benny Cutie.
The-
Nathan's been popping off recently in scrims from what I've heard.
What's your command?
So more than the Alice, could we be seeing that still for Team Liquid Philippines? I think Alice has been making waves as well throughout the past week. But
Oh,
so
definitely.
far, we're seeing that this is again one of the picks that Aqua has been sticking by so far, and one of the picks that a lot of teams have been able to activate. No fire miss whatsoever
Yep.
for this series, and just only thought that, oh no, Chip, you can't say no more.
No, because they added an immobilize effect to Chip's ultimate. Even more so now, I think it's a job that you have to really ban out Chip on the red side first phase. If you're willing to give Chip, then maybe you're thinking of countering with picks such as Tigreal, but that's really just waiting for everyone else to come out of the portal and wait. But that's not how it is. There's just too much macro that Chip has, even though they made the cooldown of his beacon a little bit longer. So in terms of priorities, let's see if it's still going to be the Hayabusa Nolan
Yep, I agree.
that teams are going to be chasing. If not those two, maybe even the Julian. Junglers were really prioritized a lot
yeah.
last week. 11 out of the 14 games last week, it was junglers that
Yep.
were first picked.
Especially as we're seeing the Phoveus immediately banned out here for Team Liquid Philippines. Though, again, based on last week, it was in the XP lane where they decided to show us something different. So probably I'm also still thinking about if it were Carl TZ around the Nolan, but now that it's Zyda, probably he's been showing us more lings than other
But
picks.
I remember last season, Nolan was his pick. Like, he was undefeated when he would get fielded, and I think 5 or 6 of those games, that was almost all of his games, it was a Nolan that he played.
For
I'm the
Zyda.
priestess
That's
of primal
currently
lightning,
open.
the hunter
So
of
will
all the
he
evil
be picking up the
gods.
Nolan as we've been mentioning? Or
Or the Haya.
is it something different to just the Haya? Because Julian really sounds like an RSG pick. It really feels like an Irad hero
Yeah.
for this particular series. I wouldn't think that they'd be denying that from Irad as well, since they have a lot of ways to potentially answer that either way later on. So is it the Nolan? Is it the Haya?
We have to remember that these two teams love fielding the pick-off type roamers. So if ever TLPH pick an assassin with a Hayabusa,
Oh, they
Julian
did deny.
now locked in. Okay. So they deny it from Ira, leave the Nolan and Haya open. Is TLPH potentially thinking about a first phase Cho pick that can be flexible either between Sanford and JP? I think RSG Philippines might want to consider picking up the Arlot since the favorite pick of Nibor is gone. Arlot's like the safest you can go in terms of aggression.
Yeah.
If you want to be more defensive, then you pick Terizla
Yep. I'd be
along
s-
with an assassin.
I'd be so surprised if Team Liquid Philippines flexed the Julian pick as well. But I doubt that's going to
Yeah, that's a Falcons AP Brent
happen,
thing.
because that's really a Falcons AP Brent thing. So RC Philippines will be revealing that hero.
Okay, whoa, interesting.
We just mentioned you just mentioned the Chu earlier,
Yeah.
that they could immediately get in the next picking phase, but then there's so much deny picks happening right now in the first phase of the draft.
Yeah, that's them shutting down what TLPH want to do. I think they have to clap back and go for Roman EXP. You already see the matchup. Might as well play into it.
This is such an interesting.
Or get either the Romer XP, then pick up a Low Yi now.
For Sanji.
Yeah.
But then that would immediately reveal whichever
I don't think that's-
combos or duos the Sansan duo might be playing.
Yeah,
later on.
I mean,
So-
if it's a key to victory, it's a key
It
to victory.
is.
Chase it in the first half.
all right, so is it going to be a Sansan? Oh,
No, it's JP Sanford.
all right. So the trio mid for Team Liquid Philippines is currently revealed right now for RSG Philippines. Wow, we're not seeing the gold laners being as prioritized anymore in the current meta. So will they secure Irad's jungler right now, or will they leave it for later? Since at this point, I think a lot of assassins are still open, but then this seems like a very aggressive early game draft for Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah, there's a lack of hard catch. They can potentially just pick up the Claude now if they want to. There's no picks right now in terms of the drafting. Unless TLPH swerve and then put the Matilda in the mid lane and then pick up a different
Yeah.
roamer that will mess up a Claude entry like a Grog.
Wait, that sounded like a Hayabusa.
Okay, yeah, so they go for the jungler instead.
Okay. So now, both gold laners are yet to be revealed to us.
Yeah, mid and gold is what we're looking for both.
Oh wow, there's a... Is that a Makima cosplay?
Yeah. Is that Andy?
Yeah, that was Andy.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing cosplayers now. Alright, so now, for Team Liquid Philippines, they lack their gold laner again and their potential mid laner. Since I don't think we're completely shutting down the idea that if Team Liquid Philippines are really trying to explore, then they might just swerve it a bit, but that
Yeah.
would be too heavy on the pickoffs, if I must say.
Yeah.
And this is RSG Philippines. That's also their specialty. They really want to go for the pickoffs, and we're seeing it right now as they prioritize the Chun.
Yeah. TLPH really need to be careful for their pick for Sanji. So RSG Philippines read into TLPH. It would be good if they got the low Yi. If I'm not mistaken, a very good record there for Sanji.
Yeah.
He is undefeated, in 2
Undefeated.
games. Yeah. So 2 games undefeated, so they're respecting the low Yi of Sanji. Let's see if they take out another Sanji hero like a Vexana or a Zask. But they can pick up the Zask here. However, the Valentino will still be left open.
Valentina's open, yeah.
So usually, if let's say RG pick up Zask, Valentina's gonna get picked. If RG pick up a Valentina, TLPH will will think about the Zask, but maybe might be better to go for something like a Vexana for them.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give the Dominator's descent to Valentina.
RSG Philippines, they're currently showing us a really interesting draft because it's so dive heavy. Typically, or based on statistics, RSG Philippines, they've been really avoidant.
Yeah.
They have low scoring games. They don't get the highest number of kills whenever they go up against teams. And this is Team Liquid Philippines. Their scores are on the opposite end of our rankings. They're a very aggressive team who always look for kills.
You know, there's a pick I remember that TLPH did before. That if they're up against an assassin and annoying roamer, they did it like twice or thrice in one season. They put it in the mid, and then they fast clear mid to invade the purple buff or invade the opposing jungle right away. It was a glue mid.
A glue mid?
Yeah. Because they already have a good amount of magic damage.
yeah, and-
Because the fighter mid slots in well for the lineup of TLPH.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the Mathilda glue in the mid lane, that'd be a lot of problems for the jungling patterns that RSG Philippines would want to secure or give to Iriad later on. But they get the Claude for themselves, and now the only remaining gold laners, if ever, could possibly be the the Moskov's already out as well. So could this be a...
Is this a Clint game for Benicudi or a carry game?
Yeah, 'cause I think the only recent gold laners that are left are Kari, Alice, but at this point, it would be too risky to, I think, go for the, as there's so many...
Alice Vengeance is okay. Oh no, it is a carry.
Alright, so they go for
It's
the
a
Kari.
take. Oh, but it is a magic
Wait!
Matilda. Mid lane Matilda, rather. Excuse me.
Not entirely focusing on the pickoffs. Still, it's the JP's Tigreal.
Yeah. I don't know unless it's a mid lane Tigreal.
But for RSG Philippines right now that they're lacking their mid laner, the only remaining options are, I think, the Aurora, the Lilia, the Zas.
Valentina. There's still a lot.
Valentina.
Honestly. Because
this
if they want that, I think they need another front. I think they need to go Zask.
Yeah.
Valentina, if Aqua's feeling confident to help set up, but I think they need another front here or another damage soaker with the Dominator's Descent.
And typically, Aqua doesn't like to go for that route, so instead of anything else we've mentioned, it's an Eve.
Against a lineup with a Matilda?
Probably with the creating space mindset.
Yeah, I mean there is a pot. We saw it last week. Fnatic Onyx Philippines got to do it against TNC Pro Team, where Super Friends with the Eve, TNC Pro Team couldn't even get close. They were zoned out.
Yep. So this is quite the adjustment from RSG Philippines with their Eve last pick going into the hands of Aqua. But then I'm watching out for the early game pressure that could potentially come out for RSG Philippines as well, despite this sudden last pick, since at the end of the day, it's the Khalid again. It's a Chu in their hands.
Yeah.
So really, if you're Team Liquid, you'd want to be careful. But let's see what happens as we head into game number 1. Casters, take it away.
way into the land of Dante Pro. This is game 1 in the best of 3 between the Team Liquid Philippines and the defending
Welcome to
champions
Mobile
up against
Legends.
RSG Philippines. Leo and Naisu bringing you the action. Joseph, is this the first mid-lane Matilda we've ever seen? All season long?
All season long? I think so, man. I can't recall the last time we saw mid lane Matilda.
It feels weird to me.
It does, but, you know, in the hands of Sanji, we'll see how he plays this out. We're already used to seeing most roamers play Matilda pretty aggressively. But this time in the hands of Sanji, we'll see how they respond to already their early aggression coming out from RSG just for the orange buff. So a flicker already burnt. Rest of the team, Sanford's got to make his way to allow Zyda to get his buff safely right now, because even Light obviously staying around, takes a couple of shots, gets thrown in the air, and the first blood goes to TLPH.
With nothing to show for it, too. RSG with a stolen Khalid, looking to pressure. Daddy JP just forced him to back off. They didn't even use the flicker. You see this? Yeah. It's still a fresh flicker on this Tigreal. And Ira did go ahead and steal away a little bit of Zyda's camp, nullifying that first blood drawn onto Light. But here's the thing. Looking at TLPH's lineup, I can see their damage coming from Duo. Oh, wait.
Okay, JP. Right, going right for Irad. Good thing he gets away, as you were saying.
TLPH's damage coming from 2 solid spots right now. It's not from Sanford, it's from Zyda and from Benny. That's it. Really, you expect this Julian to burst down.
Yeah.
Again, what was the reaction? Whoa! You expect him to do that?
What they do to his damage?
When Sanji and JP, ask those questions, right? When Sanji, JP, and Sanford find a CC, or from Benny later on. And that's 2 solid sources of damage with a great damage profile. DPS on Benny, that's true damage, and then burst magic on Zyda. So that's what they're working on. That's what their curve looks like.
And right now it's Light just trying to be a nuisance. Demorgan joined the fight too. They go in. Zyda goes in, cleans up the turtle. Fight's still going to break out. The focus in, but again, a flicker. There's the circling eagle as Irad gets taken out of the jungle under the purple, and they actually keep going as another body falls. Sanji finally goes down as well, but they're going to push 2 down of RSG. Plus, look for more. JP gets the implosion and brings Light back.
They ain't done, and now they're going to steal away Irad's purple. And why it works is because in the absence of either, right? Without the DPS true damage, if let's say Zyda doesn't get the perfect full-on combo with the enhanced everything, they can just out-CC you, and that's what they did in that sequence. That's what put them now 1,000 gold ahead, a stolen buff, and a turtle to boot.
They got a whole lot out of that entire exchange, and TLPH playing around the fact that, you know, you were talking about where their damage is at this point in the game, but and that, like we just saw showcased, even if that damage doesn't find its mark right away, they have enough CC and crowd control to make it happen again. And so what does RSG Philippines do against that? How do they play against that? Well, part of this has been the reason why you pick up the Cho is you're going for those pickoffs. But what if he gets picked off? And that's been what's happening. This Light goes in, will get the way of the dragon off before he ends up running back to the turret, still looking for more here. JP finally goes down. Nibor should be able to survive, does get retrieved, but he'll use the guard to heal back up.
All right, that was an early 5v5. That's basically what RSG wants to do. That's their winning image if they can pull it off. Again, a kick started off by Light, the real world manipulation keeping them in place, and then, you know, whoever gets caught by the Raging Sandstorm. Look at this, Light jumps in, finds one, and how unfortunate is it? How unlucky that it's the toughest member of TLPH.
I know, and that's the thing, man, is like, only certain players are going to be able to pull something like that off, Light being one of them, but yeah, it's unfortunate that they couldn't make more happen. But they do slow things down a little bit. Namor, though, less than half health, wants to fight back against Sanford, but ultimately, objective secured again for TLPH. So we're still looking for that fight back, that clap back from RSG Philippines, the Raiders, on what they're going to be able to find. Because even if Light does that again, can they find that kill? Can they cap it off?
Can they finish what they started? Because we've already seen a taste of what RSG wants to do, right? This is what RSG wants to get at. Not just willy-nilly fights here and there, because you don't know exactly where Nibor can lay down a smackdown, given that he's building up into a hybrid build. So it's not just burst. Usually when you see Khalids, they at least in the past, want to build the Heptases,
Yeah.
the Blade of Despair. Oh!
There's the implosion already being set up, JP, and now they're going to lock down Irad. He's already gone. And still going to be used. They might sandwich in under the tier 1, but Aqua joins the fight. Is he going to be enough to hold them off? He does have the real world manipulation, and it looks like they'll do just that.
They don't have to push him back. Again, the fact that TLPH have forced a reaction from RSG means they're playing to their tempo, which now explains exactly what's wrong with RSG's lineup right now, or at least the predicament they find themselves in. Much like my long-winded explanations, they have to find their way towards making their game plan work. They have to find the perfect kick, get Nibor in a place where he can deal reliable damage, soak up a little bit too,
Yep.
and Aqua to find the perfect RWM, because if he lays it down and no one's in it, that's a no-go.
And that's part of it. Like, as you were just saying, they have to figure out the whole team fight, or even these skirmishes, but then at the same way, like we just saw, TLPH can just pull back if they want to.
It's so easy for them too. They got Guiding Winds, they got Flickers on Sanford, the Vengeance dash out, JP's got the Sacred Hammers, Zyda's got 6.5 dashes, right? So everybody has a way to get out of RWM, which is, by the way, slowly been working up to become a priority pick. This came out in the twilight of the draft for RSG, which means almost more importantly than even first pick, it's the final pick. It's what they needed to make their draft work. And right now, Aqua's finding it hard to lock it in 6 minutes in.
Yeah, he's having a hard time. It makes you. I know Eve has kind of struggled a little bit as she has been picked up quite a bit, but it's still useful, especially the RWM once that's used. But I think they just go ahead. Turtles giving up. TLPH takes the third one of the game, and so that's really what my eyes are on here, is like, how do you utilize this, just the lineup as a whole? If you look at it like face value, you look at RSG's lineup, yeah, it could work. You could see this. But right now they're just defending everything. There's the kick from Light, gonna go in the way of Dragon under the turret. JP will get taken out. So good setup play there from RSG, but again, my question is, do you just keep doing that and hoping that you get back into this game and swing things in your favor?
Zyda's out of position!
Could be a fight here. That's the dashes, that's the guiding wind we're talking about.
If there wasn't a Matilda, it would have been a punish. Now Aqua getting hit.
Re-engage, final slash gonna be used as well. Aqua taken out, now Sanford could be in trouble as well. Can't get away with the guiding wind on that time, and Zyda takes a ton of damage in exchange, and Sanji tries to walk away as well. Here's the fight back from the Raiders as RSG picks up a couple kills.
That's not how you start a team fight. Already, I think Team Liquid were walking in half-cocked. They traded out JP for 2 ults, seemingly. And that's not worth it. Again, if you had a follow-up immediately, sure. If JP maybe found a winning implosion to trade for those 2 or 3 ults, sure. But that wasn't the case. They were still fighting underneath the turret. And that's what's going to allow RSG to trade those early kills, those 3 turtles, into 2 turrets. Joseph, they're winning the side lanes. This is so beneficial for Nibor and Kusei.
And this part where RSG has, in that one team fight, based off what Light has been doing, and I'll say it again, Light's been doing work on the show, but so all that has a domino effect, and now you find yourselves where RSG is like actually ready to fight for the Lord. Yeah, they essentially gave up the turtles. They didn't really lock in any of those, maybe they showed face a little bit, but at least for the first Lord, they can be in a position where, okay, we can actually dance and go toe-to-toe with TLPH.
Which is another development in the current meta game. Again, we saw how about 2 or 3 months ago, especially in the advent of the assassin junglers, you don't want to trade out the last turtle. The second and the last turtle, like, those are the ones that ramp you up into a mid-game power spike. Now, I guess RSG showing us that they know the fundamentals of letting go of the first 3 turtles, or well, all of them basically, and trading them out for major objectives, side lanes. These objectives that don't respawn, that open up the map for your cores. And that's what allowed Kusei to go 1-0-3, and even Nibor to go 0-0-5. This is the first time I've actually seen Nibor not die in the first 10 minutes.
We're so used to seeing him play the Edith, man.
We're so used to see him play Patsy, to play the scapegoat. And here, building the full-on tank Khalid that deals some good damage on the clapback, this might be his new power pick.
When did we see the Khalid pop up? Was it just last week?
Last week in the hands of Sanford.
Yeah, the debut pick.
It's a stolen pick.
Oh, there's an implosion coming out from JP.
What?
But they're still looking to capitalize on it. Irad goes into the backside, forcing him back a little bit further. The Lord also still up. Sanji finally goes down, and there's the counter comes in.
What?
Nibor's still going to be alive, too. He just heals back up through it. And JP gonna get run down as well. They're looking for a wipeout here, but Benny doesn't have enough to fight back, and RSG flips the game on its head and will go down the mid lane.
The Raiders are in the building. 2,000 gold ahead. A turn in mid, a stolen buff. Suddenly, Joseph, the damage profile from TPH, if you figure out how to soak it in, how to just isolate these many different pieces that make it work, they can't clap back. As soon as that's what confused you. The fact that Nibor was just there like, come on,
I'm
come
like,
on.
is he gonna? And then he's like, nope, I'm gonna heal up.
Bring it! How is he not gassing out? I mean, that's what you get when you build a full tank Khalid.
It's that quicksand, man. It's
It's damage reduction, it's heal.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now if anyone from DLPH has healing reduction. Maybe Sanji can build it. Maybe there's a de-ice on JP, or at least on the way.
But even the tenacity plays its part in there.
For
The
sure.
emblem, right? Like,
there's only so much you can do with heal reduction.
yeah, and again, he's just like this. Khalid, we're going to see a lot more of, I feel like, especially for some teams, because he's a good enough distraction and even does pretty good damage. Like, he does pretty good damage in the lane, and then even for these team fights.
Save for a massive penalty zone, I think he's just a pound for pound better Terizla.
Yeah, he's faster, too.
He's faster, too. That's one of the problems with Terizla is he's just wailing away with his massive mallet. And then, all right, wait, give me a sec, bro. I gotta make it to the team fight. Kali's like, all right, give me 2 seconds.
he's just soaring through.
Is that a sound of sand?
You're the sound effect guy, man.
That's
You'll come up with something.
All right, he's got a Radiant armor already, so he's dealing with Zaida, dealing with Sanji. I don't know, de-ice on the way, so he can deal with Benny, kinda, JP as well. Sanji shields, too. All those shields be damned. Oh, here we go!
Gonna force the fight again. Light finding the target. It's JP in trouble. Implosions are gonna be used. With the right into the blazing duet, into the RWM. Irat's still going as well. He's alive. He goes back, but Sanford connects the shot.
1v1!
1v1. Sanford still going. Kosei, not sure if he wants to fight it out. The regen from Sanford.
No, you do not take this. As a ranged combatant, Claude cannot take on Scarlet. No! Oh, wow, all right. You see the veteran wiles of both of these championship side laners. Kusei, the Kumai King, and as well Sanford, the Apex Predator. Dude, that could have resulted in a disastrous one-on-one for either team. Like, if either just went there like, ah!
You bring a gun to a spear fight.
See, like even that, if this was not such a well-bushed area, the Claude would have won, right?
Claude would have won.
But since, Sanford knows his strengths, he's like, I dare you to come in.
You
I
just
dare
don't know.
you. Clarence, I dare you to come in.
Well, it's funny because all these team fights, they're still so close.
Yes.
Every single team fight we have seen up to this point.
I could have sworn that was RSG's.
And then it wasn't.
Especially with the well-placed and well-timed blazing duet, but not. If you're that tight, if you're that close, and you don't have like a wall or some level of peel, or I guess Nibor did do what he did the first time around.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen, then it's closer to 50-50.
Closer to 50-50, but you can also see how like the real-world manipulation from Wako can still be deadly in those choke points. And TLPH played really good against that, even though being locked down and everything else. And I would say that even JP's implosion was a part of that, which kind of slowed things down a little bit. So ultimately, you come down to this now, where the Lord is up. Both teams are pretty much 50-50 in the team fight, and it's really dependent on who pulls that trigger first.
That's right. JP here doing quite a bit of work, controlling this lower quarter of the Lord Pit. Now the shuffle begins. RSG just asserting their dominance, pushing out any and all TLPH. Here we go!
Already gonna go. Implosion gonna be used with the flicker, and they'll be able to find Aqua, and then get another in Nibor. Shadow Kill already gonna be used too. Light has to get out of there. There's just way too much damage coming out as it's a triple for Zaida. And TLPH will go ahead and now focus on the mid lane turrets, knowing they have a numbers advantage. Irat tries to delay him a little bit further, but it's just him and Kosei holding on to the base from the full force of the cavalry. Blazing Duet with the Wind of Nature already going to be used, but they still have a minion to push in. They're going to try to delay him as much as they can, but they won't be able to as TLPH takes game one.
Zaida up and